The first step in using Windows effectively is to clear up your desktop, get rid of clutter, and organize it effectively. I'm going to focus on 3 areas that will help you work smarter with Windows: your background, your icons, and your taskbar. Here's our overall approach. We'll set up your background. Get rid of distracting background pictures. I know you love your grandkids, spouse, or that remote tropical island, but get over it. We'll suggest how to organize your icons, and we'll show you how to set up your taskbar with frequently used apps, especially Notepad, WordPad, and Paint. So that's our plan, and here we go. This is my desktop, and it works for me. Take note of icons, images that represent applications or, in a few cases, files. Taskbar, icons for some available apps and all currently running applications. On the far right side, the system tray, icons for system status indicators such as battery level, internet connection strength, and more. On the far left, the Windows icon, the Cortana icon, and the Task View icon, and more on these later. Let me also point out here that when I started creating these videos, I was running Windows 10 on a Dell Inspiron. Now, after a system crash, new computer, and rebuilding my system, I'm running Windows 10 on an HP Pavilion. So images of my desktop will look different on different videos, and your computer and Windows version may vary, so that what I show is not always what you see. Be open-minded and flexible about this. Things should generally follow the steps I take, but you may need to make adjustments to reflect your situation. Along the same line, Windows has many settings that can change the look and feel of the user interface, and options also vary from maker to maker of PC brands. So let's see how to get to the uncluttered desktop. And remember, you can ignore or modify my advice and suggestions anytime, and modify this approach to fit your style. But if you think just like me, you'll be a better person. Let's look at your background first. To see your background options on your desktop, right-click on any empty space and you'll see a menu like this pop up. Select Personalize by left-clicking on the menu choice, which then leads you to a settings page like the one shown here. Under Background, you can choose one of these from a drop-down menu. Picture. You will then be able to choose a picture for your wallpaper, your background image, or Solid Color. Select a color that pleases you most. Click on one of the boxes or click on Custom Color to choose from a rainbow of colors. And finally, Slideshow. Specify some pictures and how long between rotating the display among these pictures. You won't be surprised to learn that I prefer and recommend the Solid Color choice. Now, as for your icons, there are 2 general principles here. First, isolate any icons for apps you don't use often. Icons can be dragged by positioning the cursor over the icon and pressing and holding the left mouse button while you move the mouse. When you get the icon to where you want it to be, release the button and the icon will be repositioned to that spot. This is called drag and drop. Second, arrange your important icons in some kind of meaningful pattern. In my case, I put the icons for my most heavily used apps at the top, and when I bring up Windows, I launch all those applications right away, one after the other. For the other icons, I try to group icons for related apps. For example, I use multiple browsers, so I've stacked the icons for the browser apps underneath each other. Over here are icons for some software I've not decided whether to keep or not. As for making sure your taskbar has icons for your frequently used apps, we need to use the tablet mode of Windows 10. Wait, what is this tablet mode? Let's talk about it a bit. Windows 10 includes both a traditional desktop and a newer tablet interface. In this interface, you see a set of tiles. each one representing an app. But this is not all. On the left, there's also a list of all available apps. In either case, if you click on a list entry or a tile, the app is launched in a separate window. Except in some cases, clicking on an entry in the list on the left-hand side will consequently expand the list, and you click on one of the entries in this list to launch that app. A single left click in all cases will launch an app from the tablet mode. Swapping between desktop mode and tablet mode is done by clicking on the Windows icon in the lower left corner of the taskbar, or pressing the Windows key on your keyboard, so these actions toggle the display. I personally spend most of my time on the desktop, but there are a few things you should know about tablet mode. On your first screen in tablet mode, you'll see tiles representing tablet-like applications that either come with Windows or that you've installed. I pretty much ignore these. The views I've seen of tablet mode have varied. Here's my current HP session. Here's how it looked on the Dell system I was running. On the left-hand side are several icons, and the one that has 4 horizontal lines I sometimes find useful. If you click this icon, you are shown an alphabetized list of your installed apps. On the HP system, the list is already there to start. Now, the alphabetizing may be a little misleading because sometimes there's a leading word in front of the app like Microsoft or Windows. And if you scroll down to Windows Accessories and select that, you'll have a list of a dozen or so applications, 3 of which we care about: Notepad, Paint, and WordPad. Now, to make sure that there's an icon for these apps on the taskbar, you right-click on the application, and you see Pin to Start, which I don't care about, but More, and select that. And your first choice is either Pin to Taskbar or Unpin from Taskbar. If it says Unpin from Taskbar, you're already pinned there, so we're good for our needs. So now we go down to Paint, and right-click that, and look at More, and we want to pin it to Taskbar, so it adds it to the taskbar. And we go down to WordPad and right-click it, go to More, and Pin to Taskbar. You can, of course, do this for any app that shows up in the tablet index. Now, the reasons for doing this are twofold. First, apps on the taskbar can be launched with a single click, while apps with only desktop icons require a double click to launch. But more importantly, the taskbar provides quick access to apps that don't have an icon on the desktop at all. Next, we need to examine the settings for taskbar. Right-click on any empty space on the taskbar and you see this menu. And there's some interesting options here. For example, search, you have 3 choices. Notice what's checked is Show Search Box, and that's that box in the lower left-hand corner. If you think it takes up too much room, you can say Show Search Icon, in which case it's replaced by just a magnifying glass icon. I kind of like that, actually. You can even totally hide the search option. I'm going to leave the icon on. News and interests, I don't care about that right now. That's your choice, and Cortana button and Task View button. But what I care about down here is, first of all, lock the taskbar. Notice it's clicked, and if I click on it now, it's unclicked. There's a few things that lets you do. For example, I can change the height of the taskbar when it's unlocked, I should say. But if it's locked, then I can't change the height. Let's go look at Taskbar Settings. So Lock the Taskbar is on. I can turn it off from here. Now, automatically hide taskbar in desktop mode. I want that to be off. I always want to see the taskbar. Automatically hide the taskbar in tablet mode. Again, I want that to be off. Small taskbar buttons, I don't care, I don't care, I don't care. Show badges on taskbar buttons, I don't care. I think off is a good setting. Now, this is kind of interesting. Change the taskbar location. So you have 4 choices. For example, I can put it on the left-hand side. Okay, I'm used to it on the bottom, so I'm going to put it on the bottom. And That's pretty much all I care about at this point with the taskbar. So I've got my taskbar set the way I want, and I'll close the settings. There are other ways to modify the appearance and behavior of the taskbar, but I really wanted to make sure we had the information about locking the taskbar and changing some of the basic parameters. Finally, notice that when an app is launched, its icon is copied into the taskbar if it's not already there, and a line is drawn under it to indicate the app is currently running. Well, there you have it. The beginning of organizing Windows to meet your needs. You want to simplify your background, arrange your application icons carefully, make sure your frequently used apps have icons in the taskbar. In the next section, we'll explore how to name and use files and directories, and more. See you there.